Please start, sir, now.
Yeah, go live. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for taking time to join this afternoon for 50th annual general meeting of ARIES AGRO Limited. The meeting will begin at 4:30. Now, Dr. Rahul Chandani, the Chairman and Managing Director, will take over.
Dear shareholders, very good afternoon, very good evening. I welcome and thank all of you to join this 50th annual general meeting of our company. Unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are unable to join in person and celebrate our Golden Jubilee. I sincerely hope all of you that all of you are safe and in very good health. We'd like to begin by paying homage to our founders, Dr. T.B. Mirchandani and Mrs. Bala Mirchandani, and all the members of the ARIES family who have over the last 50 years passed away while in service and after retirement. We'd also like to have a silent prayer for the people who are part of the ARIES family across the entire country. So may I request a minute of silent prayer at this point. Thank you. As the company secretary informs me that the quorum is present, and I declare this meeting to order. Your safety is of prime importance to us, and hence the company has taken requisite steps so that all of you can join and participate at this meeting seamlessly while being at the safety of your homes. This meeting is being held through audiovisual medium of the Central Depository Services Limited, CDSL, in accordance with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. Since this meeting is being conducted virtually without the presence of members in person, the proxy facility is not necessitated, and hence accordingly this has not been provided. Also, in order to maintain the continuity of this meeting due to any technical errors faced, I hereby propose Professor RSS Mani as the alternate chairman of this meeting with the consent of the other directors present. Permission of the members present. With the permission of the members present, may I take the notice of the AGM as read. All of you have received the annual report electronically, which includes the auditor's reports. The statutory auditor of the company, Mr. Sandeep Seth and Associates, and the secretarial auditor of the company, Mr. A. Shekhar. Company secretaries have submitted their respective reports for the financial year ended 31st of March 2020. And there are no qualifications, reservations, or adverse remarks in their respective reports. With your permission, I take the same as read. The board's report, auditor's report, financial statements, standalone and consolidated, are available from page numbers 13 to 227, and the secretarial auditor's report form MR3 is on pages 32 to 33 of the annual report. I would now like to request all the directors and the company secretary attending this meeting to introduce themselves and also to confirm the location from where they are attending the meeting. I will begin this process. I'm Dr. Rahul Mirchandani, the Chairman and Managing Director of the company and Chairman of the CSR Committee, and I'm attending this meeting from the registered office of the company in Mumbai, India.
I'm Dr. Jimmy Mirchandani, non-executive, non-independent director, joining from Toronto, Canada.
I'm Bhumitra Dholakia, an independent director and the chairman of the audit committee, and joining from Mumbai.
I am CB Chaya. I am CB Chaya.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
I am CB Chaya, Independent Director, Chairman of Nomination and Remuneration Committee, Stakeholders Committee. I joined the meeting from Santa Cruz, Mumbai, from my residence. Thank you.
Good evening, Professor R.S.S. Mani, Independent Director. I'm joining this meeting from my home at Chembur.
Non-executive, non-independent director, joining from Mumbai, from the registered office of the company.
Mumbai, India. I am Kaisar Parvez Ansari, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer, joining the meeting from Registered Office of the company, Mumbai, India.
Thank you, directors, and my team, the CFO and the company secretary. All directors are present. Apart from the board members, the chief financial officer and the company secretary, we also have the statutory auditor, Mr. Sandeep Seth, and the secretarial auditor of the company, company secretaries present at the meeting. I welcome them to this meeting. We also have with us Ms. Shaileshri Bhaskar, practicing company secretary, who is appointed as a scrutinizer for remote e-voting and e-voting to be conducted at the end of this AGM. Now, as regards the participation and voting at this meeting, I request the company secretary to provide the general instructions to the members regarding participation and voting at this meeting.
Thank you, sir. Dear shareholders, facility to join this 58th annual general meeting through audio-visual medium is being made available to the members on first come, first served basis only pursuant to MCA circulars. All members who have joined this meeting are by default kept on mute and their videos are turned off by the host to avoid any disturbances arising from background noise in order to ensure smooth conduct of this meeting. Once the question and answer session begins, the names of the shareholders who have registered themselves as speakers will be announced. Thereafter, microphone speaking facility for such shareholder will be unmuted by the host. Once the speaker is unmuted, she is requested to turn on the video button and start speaking after mentioning the name, folio number and location from where she is joining the meeting. If she is unable to join through video for any reason, the speaker may continue speaking through audio mode. If there is connectivity problem at speaker end, we will request the next speaker to join, and once normal connectivity is restored, the earlier speaker will be requested again to speak after the other pre-registered speakers complete their turn. We would request speaker shareholders to keep their questions brief and specific to the business of the meeting and to limit their speech up to 2 minutes, so other shareholders have a fair chance to speak. Members who need assistance during AGM or have any queries or issues regarding e-voting are requested to refer the frequently asked questions and e-voting manual available at www.evotingindia.com under help section, or write an email to helpdesk.evoting@cdslnindia.com or call 1800 The register of directors and key managerial personnel and their shareholdings and register of contracts or arrangement in which directors are interested are available for info. Regarding voting at this meeting, there will not be any voting by show of hands, and there is no need to propose and second the resolution set forth in the notice. Pursuant to provisions of Section 108 of Companies Act 2013 and related rules, all the members of the company have been given the opportunity to cast their votes by way of remote e-voting. The cutoff date for the same was Wednesday, 16th September 2020, and the voting window was open from Sunday, 20th September 2020 from 10 a.m. IST to Wednesday, 23rd September 2020 up to 5 p.m. IST. The persons who are members as on cutoff date can only cast their votes. Members who have not cast their votes by remote voting can cast the votes at AGM. Those members who have cast vote using remote voting can participate at the meeting but cannot vote again at the AGM. Voting window is open during the meeting and will also be available for another 15 minutes after closure of the meeting. Thank you, and I request the chairman to conduct the proceedings of the AGM.
Thank you very much, Kaiser, for providing these updates. I would now like to begin before discussing the performance of the previous financial year, which I will do in detail. I would like to begin by talking to you about how our organization has remained unstoppable during this current pandemic period. And in this period, we have really showed the resilience, strength, agility, and loyalty of the entire ARIES family. This was absolutely crucial for us to continue to serve our farmers as part of the essential services that were required throughout this pandemic. We ensured that nothing stopped our organization, and the people that worked in it were kept very safe, sanitized, and ensured that our operations continued as per the government regulations and phased up from time to time. We had our workers who were on duty despite all the various problems that were being faced in terms of logistics. However, we ensured that testing was continually done for our people across the entire country. Despite all of this, work continued unabated. Our staff continued to increase their turnout during the lockdown period and gave exceptional support to our organization. 34% was the increase of your company's turnover in the first quarter, and we ensured that every worker, every staff member, every stakeholder who attended duties was safe. We also celebrated our festivals, however, keeping all regulatory and restrictions in mind, and we celebrated 100 lockdown exemplars who made sure that our organization excelled in this amazing period. Digitization also was something that marked this period. We had 856 dealers blocked for our entire financial year, and we ensured that training continued online and all payments were made digital to avoid any sort of physical contact. I think at this point it was important for us to highlight these 4 months, which have been unprecedented under any circumstances, and also to say thank you to every single stakeholder, every staff member, every worker, every person who ensured that ARIES was unstoppable in these pandemic times. I now bring you back to the year under review. Good evening once again and welcome to the 50th annual general meeting of your company. I take this opportunity to thank you for making it convenient to attend this meeting. The annual report along with the audited accounts of the company for the year ended 31st of March 2020 has been with you for some time. With your consent, I shall take it as read. ARIES is 50. Evolving from a dream of 2 individuals to a thriving, globalized organization of over 1,000 people, the metamorphosis of ARIES has been phenomenal. We have evolved into a strong, vibrant, and tough organization. Speed, scale, and precision define our very core, with values, trust, and unity defining our spirit. ARIES is absolutely unique. We are our people, our products, and our purpose. Each of these elements within our organization is rare and hard to easily imitate. Our people have a singular goal: to deliver the world's best to India's farmers, using their knowledge, skills, and enduring energy. Our products are an unparalleled, comprehensive range of specialty plant nutrition solutions made to exacting world-class standards, but are customized to the uniquely Indian conditions. Our purpose as an organization is clear: sustainably build farm incomes and crop productivity and provide prosperity to the ARIES family and livelihoods in the markets we serve. Collectively, we are custodians of our proud legacy and creators of a brilliant future. Let me now review your company's performance in 2019-20. The company is part of the growing specialty plant nutrition industry, which is a niche sector within the crop nutrition segment of agricultural inputs. During the year under review, the monsoon was at 110% of the long period average. Only 5 out of 36 subdivisions recorded deficient rainfall. This implies that 85% of the total area of the country received normal or above normal rainfall. This favorable situation continued in July, August, and September 2019 after a slightly late monsoon onset during June of 2019. Even the Rabi season had a very favorable reservoir levels, and the company was able to secure winter season business as planned. However, during the month of March, starting 22nd of March, the nationwide lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic began. This affected the financial year end business to some extent. Effectively, the sales for the year closed by 21st of March 2020, since nothing was open past this date. On a standalone basis, the company's gross revenue increased by 15.98% from 320.31 crores to 371.50 crores. On a consolidated basis, international sales were suspended due to non-manufacturing in the UAE facilities. The total capacity utilization stands at 62% of the total installed capacity of 95,400 metric tons in India. During the year under review, import substitution continued to full-scale manufacturing at Hyderabad and Chhatral facilities of items that were previously imported. The manufacturing unit at Fujairah in the United Arab Emirates began the process of securing power connection and restarting the machinery for manufacturing of our products. However, due to lockdown conditions, the commencement of production will be delayed by a few months. However, it is expected to commence operations in 2020-21, that is in the current financial year. In the meanwhile, fixed costs have been reduced to a bare minimum in UAE. Increased focus on strengthening the Indian manufacturing base has been extremely beneficial to improve the profitability of your company. Stringent cost control measures were strengthened with a continuous focus on domestic manufacturing, and we showed an increase in profitability of 4.78%. On a consolidated basis, consolidated PAT showed an improvement in line with the domestic business. Distributors in Nepal have put up their own manufacturing unit, and this has helped our global business. This has been to support and increase distribution network of ARIES products throughout Nepal. Your company endeavors to create an export market in the countries and is confident of increasing exports. We also recently concluded an international business convention, which was conducted online and attended by potential buyers from 9 countries and was extremely well received. Your organization continues its tradition of carrying out a range of activities that spread knowledge and the adoption of farming best practices in the markets that ARIES functions in. During the year, we emphasized more on higher standard of living and sustainable environment. Accordingly, we had initiated unique programs across in our CSR activities. These include the Environmental Intelligence Quotient, a test for both the faculty and kids of schools to create awareness of environmental concerns. And we also had a very unique Food for Health initiative that was conducted on the ARIES Foundation Day, marked on the 27th of November 2019, which was our Golden Jubilee Foundation Day. Annadhanam was conducted across the country with ARIES staff in 23 states, feeding 110,770 people in 171 locations with food prepared using crops grown by ARIES farmers. The objective was to combat hunger in remote areas and towns across India. As there was a rising demand for our unique programs, ARIES Green Cups, a very unique concept of soilless cultivation, and ARIES Water Wheels, an endeavor to effectively deliver potable water over long distances, were also continued as CSR activities during FY 2019-20 also. In addition to the above, ARIES extension teams continually to strongly advocate good agricultural practices in all states of India. The recent activities are conducted under the supervision of agronomists and agricultural research institutions throughout the year. We are very proud that 32,232 knowledge dissemination activities, including farmers' meetings, were conducted impacting 1,45,000 farmers. And these activities exposed farming communities across the country to the latest plant nutrition concepts. The company also provided fees and scholarships to students, in addition to a series of awards to meritorious students. The company's call center, based in Vijayawada, continued to provide answers to farmers' queries on integrated nutrient management, pest management, soil health, and soil post-harvest management practices. The company, in coordination with Gunj, also transported relief materials to Kolhapur in Maharashtra for the distribution of flood-affected people. We also continue our CSR activities unabated and will now present a short slideshow covering our CSR activities during the current lockdown period, because this was a time when we had to reach out exceptionally well to the affected communities and also to people who were affected by this lockdown crisis. 50,000 people were distributed masks, and this was one of the first activities that we conducted spread across 18 states in India. These masks were given out across all stakeholder communities and also ensured the local support of the police while doing these kind of CSR activities. The kind of goodwill that was built as a result was then further amplified using sanitation tunnels in very, very crowded parts of the country. We also created 5,000 immunity booster kits that were put in place to provide immunity boosting tablets across the country to various stakeholder groups. These are examples of the kind of distribution that took place across the various parts of the country involving different stakeholder communities. Our entire, the entire staff of our team was actually present and took ownership of these activities. We also distributed food to migrant communities, to the slum areas. In fact, we adopted one of the slum areas near our corporate headquarters in Mumbai in order to do food distribution to the migrants throughout the lockdown period. This was again an activity that we did along with every staff member of our headquarters physically present in order to ensure that people were benefited. PPE kits were also distributed to our saviors, and also antibody test kits were given to 400 beneficiaries across the country. Here again, our ARIES staff were actively involved to take ownership of these various CSR initiatives. The fact that CSR happened from the heart at the time when the country needed it the most was perhaps something that we are extremely happy to have been able to contribute in a small way to ensure these activities were scaled up rather than scaled down during the pandemic period. We actively promote equal opportunities in our workplaces across the company. At 3 of our locations, we have been successful in creating a gender-balanced workforce. 42% of women at our corporate headquarters, 40% women at the Pasha Malaram factory in Hyderabad, and 33% women at our Chhatral unit demonstrate the fact that workplace diversity takes place at all our locations. And this has happened as a matter of default, as a matter of design, in a way that our entire recruitment process is handled. The Indian Chamber of Food and Agriculture conferred your company the prestigious India Agriculture Business Award in 2019 for consistently serving the farmers of India. We were also facilitated by Zee Business as the Company of the Year 2019 in Agriculture under the Dare to Dream Growth Matters segment for our outstanding contribution to Indian agriculture. For 15 consecutive years, the ARIES Quality Management System has been audited and certified as ISO 9001:2015 compliant with a 0 non-compliance report, showing a complete adherence to international quality standards. Your company has also been listed, or as recently as last week, as one of the top innovative business models during COVID-19 under the category of Innovation in Customer Interface by the Confederation of Indian Industries Food and Agriculture Center of Excellence, NABARD, and the Ministry of Fertilizers of the Government of India. I would like to now focus on the outlook for 2020-21. The year 2021 is a landmark year immediately following our Golden Jubilee, and the company being classified under essential commodities ensured that we continued to function from April 2020 onwards with a workforce as per the lockdown restrictions. The demand has been extremely strong in rural areas, and by adding several locations, the company, in addition to its existing factories, was able to meet demand of the farming community across India despite the lockdown conditions. During the year 2020-21, the annual distributor meeting was conducted online with a record number of close to 850 dealers connecting from 26 states on video conferencing platforms on the 19th of April 2020. This was followed by app-only bookings, only online bookings for the year 2020-21, with record bookings of 620.51 crores conducted entirely online. We are sure with a conversion of about 70 to 75% as in the past years, we expect to achieve a gross revenue of close to 430 to 440 crores during the financial year 2020-21. In the current year, we shall also introduce high-density zinc tablets, high-density NPKs, neem oil, a small range of pesticides, and specially designed nutrients for urban gardens and hydroponic farms. During the lockdown period, digitization of the entire community and several processes was completed way ahead of schedule. This included sales, marketing, administration, and accounts departments. Automation also assisted in business continuity and the manufacturing facilities. We were able to function with prescribed levels of workforce at notified times by the Government of India, primarily due to the automation that we have achieved. Despite the lockdown, Vijayawada unit was constructed way ahead of schedule, and we were able to start installing machineries, and production is expected to commence during 2020-21. Our research and development farm at Raipur is currently producing 4 crops, including moringa, turmeric, cucumber, and tomato. The construction of the first phase of our manufacturing facility at Raipur will also begin towards the end of 2020-21. Our goal of achieving 100% recyclable packaging has already been achieved, and new sustainable packaging solutions are also being continuously identified for our flagship brands. To our products and our passion, ARIES continually demonstrates that it is a responsible corporate citizen working hard to retain the delicate balance of nature and the development of communities where we work and we serve. Your company's new initiatives could not have come without the active involvement and support of the staff members. Our staff is well aware of the challenges and have fully embraced the company's principles. The customers have been extending their patronage, and we are confident of their support in the current year also. The Board of Directors places on record its appreciation for the continued support and guidance received from the Government of India, the Reserve Bank of India, the SEBI, other regulatory authorities, various financial institutions, our bankers and correspondents in India and abroad. Before I conclude, I would like to thank the shareholders once again for a turnout today and for their interest in the company. I would also like to thank each one of you personally for your confidence in ARIES. Together, we will ensure that your company grows even further in the next 50 years ahead. Thank you very much. I would now like to open the floor for members who registered themselves as speakers to pose their questions. Members may note, in order to avoid repetition, all questions shall be answered at once, once after all pre-designated members have spoken and questions have been put forth at the meeting. I request the Company Secretary to facilitate the questions from the members.
Thank you, sir. And I request the moderator for the meeting today to unmute pre-registered members one by one and take their questions.
Yes, sir. Dr. Dhyaneshwar Bhagwat, Mr. Kamal Jawar, and Mr. Kirti Shah has not joined the meeting. So I would like to go directly to Mr. Abhishek Hariyan. Mr. Abhishek Haryani, you have been made as a panelist. Kindly turn your video on and you have been unmuted now. You can speak.
Yeah. So, can you hear my voice?
Sir, we can hear your voice.
And first of all, on your okay, I heard a lot of things about 2020. Okay, which you mentioned in your presentation and in your company presentation. So, what was the purpose and result of that ARIES 2020 campaign? Okay, and the second thing, there were lots of good thing in CSR activities which you have shown in that presentation. So, how you been
Okay, can I have all the questions first and then I can answer all of them together, please?
Yes, please. Thank you, Mr. Aryan. We will
Yeah.
unmute you. The next speaker is Mr. Amir Rane. Mr. Rane, we have unmuted you. You can speak and also turn on your video if you wish to.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Rane. We can see you also very well.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Congratulations to ARIES Agro Limited for completing 50 years Golden Jubilee. Mike, I have two questions for you. And one of the questions is I have recently seen in a year that you have entered into aquaculture sector as well. So my question is, what is your assessment of this sector? Because you have just entered now, it's been 2 years now. And also my another question to you is, what have been companies' effort conservation and sustainable development growth? These two are for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rane. We will now move to the next speaker, Ms. Nainisha Sawant. Ms.
Hello.
Sawant, we have unmuted you. You can now speak.
Congratulations, Dr. Rahul and everyone at ARIES. I would like to have two questions. One would be how the recent changes in agri sector laws has affected your business, and second would be what has been with the progress of digitization in your company. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sawant. We'll now move to the next speaker. The next speaker is Ms. Rukmani Balakrishnan. Ms. Rukmani, we have unmuted you. You can speak.
Yeah, hello. Hello, can you hear
I
me?
can hear you.
Yeah. Good evening. Happy congratulations and company's 50th Golden Jubilee celebration. My question to the company is, how has your company dealt with the COVID-19 lockdown? And are we importing from China and what was the impact?
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Rukmani. We'd like to move to the last speaker, Ms. Janki Raman. Janki, we have unmuted you. You can speak now.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be present in the 50th annual general meeting of our company. I have two questions. First one is, has our company made any layoff in the COVID-19 period? And the second question is, has we explored any new market? Are we planning to explore new market? These are the two questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Janki.
The other is that all the panelists, all the speaker shareholders?
Yes, we have been completed with the speaker shareholder list. You can now answer the question.
Perfect. Thank you very much for all very relevant questions from all our shareholders. In fact, it's a pleasure to always answer questions directly, especially of these kind of very important issues. I'd like to start with talking about the how has the company dealt with the lockdown conditions. I think that was one of the questions that was asked. Frankly, as you must have noticed from our restart video or the slide deck that we had put together, we actually grew by almost 34% in our lockdown period. period. So frankly, our organization proved very agile and resilient during this period. And we also, in fact, did not lay off a single person in this lockdown condition. Not a single person was laid off. In fact, salaries, wages were paid to every single person, and not a single person was laid off or denied their wages or salaries during the entire lockdown condition. In fact, we added about 15 people because we felt it was required for better monitoring in the last 4 months. Regarding the other question regarding, there was a very pertinent question regarding the ARIES 2020 campaign. As most of you may be aware, especially shareholders who've been joining us continually in the past years, we launched a beautiful campaign, a 4-year campaign at the Bombay Stock Exchange at the convention center there, which was basically to lead up to this Golden Jubilee year. And in fact, our sales since we launched the campaign in 2015-16 was the base year for the launch of the campaign. And we had a sale of about 289 crores at that point of time as a base launch year sales. In fact, last year, as you all know, we completed with almost 371.5 crores of sale, and we still have the current year to go. So our aim of actually increasing our business in the last 4 years has actually been well achieved during this period. So I think the purpose of the campaign was served in terms of increasing the market penetration for our organization, and to also get more planned in terms of raw material procurement and inventory management. We also looked at, we also had a question here about aquaculture. Aquaculture, in fact, has become a very focused area for our organization since 2017-18. And currently, just to answer your question, we have 12 products. And seeing the growth in the sector, which is in the growing fisheries sector, we're actually planning to launch 2 more in the current financial year. And sales of these products has shown very robust demand during this period. Another question I had noted down was regarding the efforts on sustainable development. In fact, 2 of our factories run on green energy. Our Hyderabad factory runs on solar power. In fact, we're generating enough power to also sell a bit to the grid in order to reduce our energy bills. And we also have a CNG, which is part of the facility at the Ahmedabad or the Chakral facility. So in fact, we've actually been very good at trying to make our factories also energy efficient. What we've also done is we have a system now that we are only purchasing recyclable packaging. So in fact, 100% of our packaging is now recyclable and 100% environmentally safe. What we are trying to do now is to get even more sort of aligned into sustainability as we go forward. Another important bit, if all of you go to our corporate website, we have our legacy 50-year journal that you will see on our website, ariesagro.com. And you will find there an entire section where the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals have actually been in complete alignment with what we do at our organization. And this has also happened, by default. We actually took the goals and said we're already doing almost everything that the UN SDGs expect us to do, and therefore our alignment with conservation and sustainability in the last 50 years has almost been perfect. What we also talked, I think we also had a question here on digitization. I noticed a question on digitization and the progress of it in our organization. In fact, over the last 3 or 4 years, we had progressively started digitizing various parts of our systems and processes. In fact, that is one of the key reasons why we managed to work in this lockdown so effectively. We today have 10 applications which are completely developed in-house, and close to 54,000 users who are using these various applications, whether it be for sales, for collections, for market reporting, for farmer training. We have this whole range of activities. And I must once again mention that this year's order booking was done 100% online. And again happened because we had laid the base 3 years ago, even without knowing that there's going to be a pandemic. And it just helped us very well in this current financial year. I think there was also a question regarding any new markets we are trying to explore. Well, actually, Asia and Africa are export market focus areas for us. We have an international team that has restarted working on these markets. Of course, the export business, like I mentioned in my talk, will be developed through a series of international business development programs that we have scheduled over the course of the remainder of the financial year. And we also have, I think there was also a very important question, and I'm going to end with that, on the changes in the agriculture sector laws. Many of us are aware that 3 laws, which are landmark laws, have actually been put into Parliament, and 2 actually have gone through both houses of Parliament. Frankly, if you look at the 3 laws, I would classify them, I mean, they have very long names, but I'm going to actually just put them down into 3 buckets. The first one was actually a law that allows the farmer to bypass the APMC markets. What's interesting, however, is that the APMC markets will continue to function, and the farmer is being given a choice whether to buy, to sell in the open market to corporates, or to sell at the APMC markets under the MSP and other regimes. Frankly, the farmers have been given a choice, and it's always good for a farmer to have a choice, simply because if his realizations improve, he's willing to invest more on technical training and very, very high-end, proper methods of cultivating his farms. The other the other law is about corporates who are able to now stock food freely, whereas earlier there was a restriction. You had stocked food, you would be called a hoarder. Whereas right now, corporates and market mechanism can actually stock food very freely. Once again, this is a good demand-side intervention, because the moment you have a demand-side intervention where people are able to stock and store their food, it is always easier for farmers to liquidate their output, earn some money, and put it back into growing better products in his farm. And the last one, which is, I think, the third law, is the contract farming law, where farmers are allowed to enter into contracts with corporates, once again giving him an opportunity to increase the realizations that he can get at the farm gate. So frankly, all 3 laws seem to point towards improvement of farm income potential. And since we also at ARIES represent ourselves at the NITI Aayog team on the Double Farm Income Committee of the Government of India, I think all of these are laws that were have been proposed at various points in time, and I'm very happy that they will positively impact the agricultural sector. So I do believe that I have answered the questions that were posed, and I would now like to ask, now that all the questions have been answered, I'd like to take the notice of the annual general meeting on record. Since the notice of the annual general meeting has now been circulated to all members, I would like to take notice of the AGM as read. The text of all the resolutions, along with the explanatory statement, forms a part of the notice of the AGM and has been circulated to all members. We shall now take up these resolutions as set forth in the notice. So we're taking all the items. I hope all of you have gone through the annual report and have taken up these various items. There are 5 items that have been put up as the business of this particular AGM. The resolutions as set forth in the notice shall be deemed to be passed today, subject to receipt of requisite number of votes. After combining the results of both the remote e-voting and the e-voting at the AGM, the results will be announced within 48 hours from the conclusion of this meeting. This will then be shared with the stock exchanges and uploaded on the websites of the company and CDSL. I have been informed that we have had 51 members participating in this meeting. Thank you once again for joining the meeting today, and I sincerely hope that your families stay safe and healthy in the days to come. I hereby declare the meeting as closed. As informed earlier, the e-voting on the resolutions of the AGM will continue to remain open for the next 15 minutes. In order to facilitate this, I shall put together a timer. The timer will show you the 15-minute countdown, and I do hope that people who have been who need to vote at the AGM can exercise their vote in the next 15 minutes. So I'm going to ask the back-end team now to switch on the timer for the e-voting, and you will be able to log into your CDSL logins, and the voting has now commenced. So e-voting on these resolutions will remain open for 15 minutes. We shall remain on mute during this time, and I hope all of you will exercise your vote. Thank you.
Hello. Dr. Rahul. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah, we did not stay now.
no, we will have to wait because we still have to conclude the meeting after the voting is over.
Time was stopped.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your participation in the voting process. Thank you very much to our directors who have joined from their various locations. Thank you to all the shareholders, my team at ARIES, and all auditors for joining this AGM. The results of the AGM will be declared within 48 hours. On declaration of the results to the exchanges, this meeting shall stand concluded. Thank you very much for your interest in ARIES. We look forward to the next 50 years of our great organization. Stay safe, stay healthy, and best wishes to all of you and your families. Thank you and very good evening. Thank you.
Thank you all of you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you and bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To the chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep bhai.
Okay, thank you.